Howdy, friends and family. I'm back with my next devotional that I'm doing in the series with Christ Memorial Lutheran Church about knowing God this summer. This is week 3, day 3. And this week we are talking about God's sovereignty. Last time I made a video, we talked about how God is sovereign, which means he is omnipotent or all-powerful, which means that we should turn to him with our troubles first. And today, we're going to talk about how God is sovereign as Elyon, and that we should obey him first. So, Elyon is one of the names of God. Like last week, we talked about how he is Elohim. Today, we're talking about how he is Elyon. And Elyon means that he is the God Most High, the supreme ruler, which if you remember our definition of sovereign, one of the parts of the definition refers to the fact that he is referencing or befitting of a royal ruler. So Elyon is the sovereign Most High ruler of everything in the universe. Ephesians 1:18 through 23 says, I pray also that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened, in order that you may know the hope to which he has called you, the riches of his glorious inheritance in the saints, and his incomparably great power for us who believe. The power is like the working of his mighty strength, which he exerted in Christ when he raised him from the dead and seated him at his right hand in the heavenly realms, far above all rule and authority, power and dominion, in every title that can be given, not only in the present age, but also in the one to come. And God placed all things under his feet and appointed him to be head over everything for the church, which is his body, the fullness of him who fills everything in every way. God is Elyon, the highest, most supreme ruler who has authority over all other authority in the world. And how do we respond to our rulers and our authorities? We respond with obedience. In Acts 5, we see part of the beginnings of the new church where many of the disciples, including Peter and the apostles, are being told not to preach about Jesus. But Acts 5 verse 29 says, Peter and the other apostles replied, we must obey God rather than men. We must turn to God and obey him because he is our Elyon, our highest, most supreme ruler who has authority over all other rulers as the King of Kings. So we need to obey him first. Now, this doesn't mean that we need to completely ignore all of the authorities that are around us. Actually, Romans 13 verse 1 says that God has set up all the authorities. Nobody would have authority if he didn't give it to them. So we're still supposed to obey our authorities. It's when the earthly authorities have a conflict with God. So, for example, in Acts 5, the earthly authorities are actually explicitly contradicting God by saying, don't teach about Jesus. And the apostles are saying, we're going to obey God first. And so God is saying here, yes, obey the earthly authorities. I've set them up, but they're still human. There might be a time when they might contradict God. And if they do, that is the time when God says, obey me first. Obey what I have set out for you, because my way is best, and I have authority over all other forms of authority, and I'm the one who has given them any power at all. So if you're ever faced with a time where you're questioning what you should do, turn to God, seek him, and try to obey him, because his authority is the greatest. He has the highest power. He is supreme and sovereign. He is your Elyon, your supreme ruler. So remember that this week and turn to him and obey him. And if you are memorizing Jeremiah 32 verse 17, this is your reminder to do that. Thank you so much for joining me and watching this devotional, and I will see you guys next time.